Hello and welcome back. It's puzzle time with Sudoku Sleuth, and today we're going to be playing Rounding the Bases. I somehow seem to have removed, that's quite frustrating, I seem to have removed the space in this particular title for one reason or another. Kind of half tempted to fix it on the fly actually whilst we're talking about what's going on in here. So we're playing a puzzle from FullDeck and missing a few cards. Which is, to be fair, round about time that we're actually playing one from these guys. It's been a while. Now, I could have gone with a few different ideas with such a title. One is rounding bases, like, mathematical. But when you actually see this particular puzzle, I'm fairly certain this is a reference to baseball, which is what essentially Sleuth is doing right here. He is pitching. You can see some kind of mascot in the background. I don't know why there's like a security on the pitch as well. Maybe there's like a streaker or something running in the background that needs to be ambushed. I don't know a huge amount about American sports. Let me see, where am I going with this? So I don't entirely get them, but at the same time, for example, I didn't really understand or appreciate rugby until I watched it live at a stadium, and it changed my whole outlook on the game. I absolutely loved it. So like maybe that's what I should have done when I was living in the US, just actually go to a baseball game. I'm surprised, in a year plus that I was there, I've never been to one. So, something to plan for the future, but enough about me. Let's just take a look at the puzzle from this fantastic couple and exceptional constructors. I'm sure it's going to be loads of fun. You can probably tell from the background that it's dark. So my solve will probably mean it's a little bit slower than usual, given it's coming up to 10 p.m. here, but long day in the office means I just didn't get a chance to record it either in the morning or even in the afternoon when I came back. Rounding the Bases by FullDeck and missing a few cards. You can definitely see, I think, kind of the reference to baseball in here. Essentially kind of the diamond shape, the four bases in the corners. I guess almost like the pitcher, catcher. I really should stop talking because I'm sure I'm making no sense whatsoever in here. All right, rules-wise, we've got standard Sudoku rules apply. That means place the digits 1 to 9 once each, and you know where it is, every row, every column, and every 3x3 box. Nothing unusual about any of these. Then we have cages. Digits in cages cannot repeat and must sum to the value shown in the upper left corner of the cage. So if this cell here is a 2, for example, this would have to be a 5 to make sure that these two cells add up to 7. These two are 11, 5, etc., etc. Then we have arrows. Digits along the shaft of an arrow sum to the value in the attached circle. So this arrow here, or the shaft of an arrow, if I put 1 and 3 in here, these 3 cells are now adding up to 6, and therefore I would have to put it inside the circle in here, and that would be a valid arrow sum, though not a valid cage. There's no way I'm going to be able to put an 11 in here. There you go. Relatively straightforward rules. It is a 1-star difficulty rated puzzle, so it should be approachable. What else to say? 94% rating as of the time of recording, so we should be in for a treat. If you want to play along, and or at least participate in this game of baseball and Sudoku, link will be in the description down below for you to enjoy. And with that said, I'm going to restart the clock and see how I get on. So, is it a couple of forced cages? I mean, this one is definitely forced. 1, 2, 3. No other way of getting to 6 in 3 cells. Gives me kind of a range of options. So essentially, this is either 1, 2, 1, 3, or 2, 3. So this is 3, 4, or 5, which, given this is adding up to an 11, can I do 3? Yes, I can. I can't do 4. So essentially, whatever the sum is in here is saying that these 2 cells will add up to it. Let's go with 4 for a second. That would mean that this is 1, 3, and this is 4. That's fine. Ignore what I was about to say. So to get to 11, I need either a 6, a 7, or an 8 with 3, 4, or 5. Huh. 1, 2, 3. This is at least a 6. And I think the maximum inside a 3-cell 10 cage is a 7, because 1 and 2 would make this a 7. So this is 6 or 7. Pretty sure it isn't. If it's 7, that would be 1, 2. This would have to be, well, 1, 2. This wouldn't be 1, 2. This would be 4. This would be 1, 2. The alternative, if this is a 6, is there is a 1, 3 pair in here to get to 4. And then this is 2, 3. This is not going too well. Well, this wouldn't be the 3, because essentially it would be a 1, 3 pair. So this would have to be a 2, and this would be a 1, 3 pair. How did I add? When did I add that 2 earlier? So if this was a 7, this would be 1 and 2. Then this would be a 4, and this would be 1 or 2. Okay, so that's correct. And therefore this is 7, 8, or 9 to get to 10. I'm going round the bases, clearly. I was kind of hoping that the 10 one, which is quite restricted. Oh, hang on, this is much better. Right, this is definitely much better. Right, so same kind of logic with this 10 cage in that it's 1, 2, 3, and 6 or 7. Then it's again 1, 2, or 3, and then the counterpart to get to 5 is 4 or 2, 3. 1 and 4 would make this 2, 5. 2 and 3 would make this 1, 6. Where am I going with this? Essentially, this is never 3, 4. If it's 3, 4, I've broken both options for the 5. And therefore, there is like a virtual 1 pair, a virtual 2 pair in here. Not that it's meaningful at all. These 3 cells are not 1, 2, 3. There you go. Here's our first digit. Finally, like, how long did it take me to spot this? Right, so these 3 cells, because it's 3 cells, either there's a 1 on it. No, hang on. For a second, I thought this is 1, this is 2, 3, 4, and this is a 9. That is not true. That is definitely not true, because I've got 1, 2, 3, and 4 in here. There's a maximum of 1 more low digit in these 2 cells. And because there's another digit that is not from 1, 2, 3, 4, there has to be a 1 on this group. Where am I going with this? So whenever it comes to 3 cells, kind of the question that always comes to mind is there a 1 on that group? Because if there's a 1, there's a bunch of options. If there is no 1, then it's limited to 2, 3, and 4. Now, 2, 3, and 4 would basically break the puzzle, because I have to fill in 5 cells from 2, 3, and 4. So there can't be 2, 3, 4 in here. There has to be a non 1, 2, 3, 4 digit in row 9, and therefore there has to be a 1 in one of these 3 cells. And that is not a 1. Now, what are my options is kind of what I'm thinking now. We've established that this is not 3, 4, but beyond that, I don't think we've really established much more than that. I know if that there is a 1, it's not up here, because it would break this setup that we've got. So if there is a 1, it's here, and that would be 6. If there is a 2, can I get away with a 2 in here and a 5 in there? That would have to be 1, 3 to stand a chance of being a 9. And then 1, 3 in here would make this a double 2. So long answer is no. That can't be 2, that can't be 5. This could be 5, and this could be 1 or 2. In fact, is limited to 1 or 2. Right. So 1, 2, 3. So there was always a 1 in here. Come on, Sleuth, that was obvious. There was always a 1 in here with the 6 or 7. So that's the 1, that's a 6. This is not 1, 4. This is a 2, 3 pair. That's another 1. That's not a 1. Can't be a 2. Yeah, it can be a 2. It could be a 3 with 6 or 7. So that's not a resolution. That is not a 1. That is not a 1. Right. So where are we getting with this? So I know that this is not 2, 3. I can't do... So it's not 2, 3. It would break this cell and these 2. it's not 2, 4, it would break this cell. I can do 3, 4, I think. That would be 1 and 2. And then that cell would be nothing. So the answer is no, this has to be 3, 5. So this is a 9. 3, 5 pair in here gives me 2. These are not 2s. This is a 1, 3 pair. They add up to 4. That gives me another 1, 3 pair. That's a 4. 1, 3, 1, 3. That's 2. Therefore, that's 7. And 4 in here gives me 7. For a second, I thought it was 6. For some reason, I was adding it up to 10. Right, and this is 5, and this is 3. These are not 3s. This is a 1, 2 pair. Again, that means that's a 7. That's a 4. This is 1 or 2. That can't be 7. And it is 8 or 9 with the 1, 2. It isn't 1, 2. It's a 2 and an 8 and a 1 and a 2. Fantastic. Kind of disappointed I didn't go around the bases, so to speak, in the top right corner before I was able to have a break-in, but I think you could have probably spotted this without the world tour trip that I've done. Just having a look for easy Sudoku that I may be missing. And the short answer is I don't think so. I mean, there's a 2 in here. Right, there is a 4 in there. That is an easy Sudoku that I could be missing. There's a 4 in here. And I think that's kind of the gist of the Sudoku for now. Yeah, so, right, so we may as well just kind of round this off. There's a 1 inside the 8 cage. There has to be. 2, 3, 4 adds up to 9. And it's either 1, 2, 5, which is still possible. Essentially, it would be a 2, and then a 1, 5 pair. And then the other possibility to get to 8 is 1, 3, 4. And it really does seem to be like open season, as in any of these could be 1, 3, 4. Which doesn't bode well for this particular cell. There's essentially tons of options. Kind of, it can't be too big. I mean, that can't be 7. So essentially, the highest digit is 7. Second highest digit is 6, and 2 would have to go in here, which is not possible. So now we're already at like 5, 3. Technically, I could do the reverse, 3 and 5, with a 1, 2 pair in here, and a 5 in there. I mean, very specifically, 2, 1, and 5. So that is technically possible, but I don't think I can go any smaller than this. I can't do 2 in here, because that would be a double 1. Okay, so if these two cells are 3, that would be 8. If these two cells are 5, that would be 6. Still no resolution. And it really feels like I should be, I mean, it is definitely a 3, 5 pair, so that's not a 3. It's not enough to resolve though. If it is a 3, this would have to be a 1, 2 pair and a 1, 2 pair, and that 2 stops it from happening. So that's definitely 5, that's definitely 3. That means that's definitely 6. And then these two cells have to add up to 5. And my options are, well, this cell is not 3 or 4. This would have to be 1 or 2. This would have to be 3 or 4. 5 in here now. Think about options. I mean, clearly this is not a 5 anymore. So essentially 1, 4 pair and 3, 2 with this direction. Because these two are 5 to get to 8, that has to be 3, that has to be 4, that has to be 1. We're kind of nearly there. I mean, there always has to be a 1 inside the 8, so that's the 1, that's the 4, that's the 1, that's the 3, that's the 1, that's the 3. Fantastic puzzle. Right, 6 we can place. 3 we can place, 5 we can place, we can just finish that box. And this is not 8, that's the 8. This is the remaining digit, which is, come on, 7. This is now a 4. To get to 20, I've got 12, that's got to be 8. This cell is known. It's got to be a 6. These 3 now are 5, 7, and 9, not resolved. And surely we know what's going on in here. To get to 7, it has to be 1, 2, 4. It's not going to have a 3. So we do know what's going on here. And then this is an 8, 9 pair that's not resolved. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4. I need 5 and 6. Can I resolve? Yes, that's a 6. That is 2, 5. I can probably, yeah, I can place a 6. And what else can I do? 9 is not here, so that's 9. And this is a 5, 8 pair. 8 cage without 3 and without 2. This is forced to be 1, 7. That is 1. That is 7. And we'll figure out what this cell is. Actually, 1 without 2 and 4, I'm already at a maximum of 3, 5, which gets me to 9. So this is forced 3 and 5 because of these two. This is 12. This is 6 for 18. And we're getting there. This is a... I'm not going to say I'm necessarily playing better than I normally do, but this is unusually smooth for me. And I think the main difference is, you know, do Sudoku along the way. Don't leave it until the end. You know, life lesson, so to speak. And this is 4. And I think we're basically done with the variants. So it's just Sudoku to wrap up. That's got to be a 5. I need a 3 somewhere in here. It can only be there. I know what this is. It's an 8. I have 7 and 9 left, and they don't seem like they're resolved. These two, there's another 9 and a 6. Okay. And here it's 7 and 8. Bunch of things not resolved. Interesting. 5, 7, 9 means that there is another 5, 7, 9 plus a missing digit, which is an 8. You can see that the 8s are lining up in rows 4 and 6, so that has to be the 8. This is 5, 7, or 9. Not sure I can actually remove any option in here. Then I have another 5, 7, 9 plus something else. That something else is a 6, which can only be in here. And this is not 5 or 7, it has to be a 9. So that's 7, that's 9. That gives me 5 in here. This is not 5 or 9, that's 7, that's 9. That's 5, which gives me 2 and 5. And I'm just checking 6 is, yeah, 6 is done. So that's 9, 6, and therefore 9 and 8, and therefore 7 and 8. Fantastic. And this is 1, 2, and if I've not made any mistakes, 7 for the finish. It's a beautiful puzzle. Thank you so much, FullDeck, and missing a few cards. Yeah, you could say Rounding the Bases is a highly appropriate title. Hope that you guys enjoyed it. And there's a couple of hard puzzles coming this weekend, so nice to play something that's a bit easy for Friday morning. Just watch out for Saturday morning. See you back soon. Bye-bye for now.